Hey, Conor here at Neversink Farm, and I wanted to talk about flame weeder parts, the different parts you can get for a flame weeder. And there's not a lot of them, but they're important and they're really, really useful. So every flame weeder is going to have a torch, right? The business end. Some have a shroud for efficiency, but where the parts come in is up near the top, right? So from the tank, right, you're going to have to buy your own tank. Now, if you're carrying around a tank, a small little tank is really the best because they're lightweight. This is a 2.5 gallon tank, very light. It's not a big deal on your back. I mean, at its heaviest, I don't know how much weight it's going to be, but maybe 20 pounds after you filled it. And they're not very expensive, maybe 40, 50 bucks. You know, not a big deal. You can go up to aluminum tank, which is like 1.5 gallons. They're very specialized tank, but those are going to run $150, $200. Might be a good investment, especially if you don't do a lot of flame weeding, but you don't want to carry a lot of weight. You know, they're going to last forever. They work exactly the same. They're just smaller and thinner tanks. But look around, there's all different sizes, but you know, 2.5 gallon is probably the biggest you want to go. I like to have at least 3 because I'm going to use maybe 3 for the season if I'm doing a lot of flame weeding. This way I won't run out of propane. Because as I use 2, right, and I'm on my 3rd, I can bring 2 in to get them filled. If you have a guy that comes and fills your propane and fills them, all the better. You probably don't need 3 then. Okay, so the next thing is a regulator, and these come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. They come from incredibly cheap to a few dollars to really good ones like this one. We only sell the really good one, the Marshall adjustable regulator. This one is fantastic. You won't have any trouble with it. Some regulators do have a limit, kind of a turn off. So like if your tank shakes, like if you ever had a regulator where you put the tank on and the thing goes out, it probably has a limit in it where it's shutting itself off. And those are terrible. And you know, you don't want that. The one we sell doesn't have that at all. It can be adjusted so that you can just use a nice low flame, which always a low flame. You just want a very low roar, you know, not even a roar, like a low purring. And I find it very important to use a regulator. It's just going to make your equipment last longer. It's more efficient for the propane, right? You know, it's just going to, what you save on propane by having a regulator more than pays for your regulator. So it's kind of important. Sure, you can go without a regulator just for things on high, but I just don't recommend it. And, you know, it end up ruining your equipment. Usually a tube comes with any flame weeder. You know, a good tube is important. You can get it just like anything else. You get cheap ones, you get expensive ones, but the cheap ones will start to crack and will eventually crack and leak propane. The next important thing is a squeeze valve, and a lot of people, you know, say, you know, I don't want to get a squeeze valve. You know, it's going to cost a lot of money. But you know, as you go for bigger flame weeders, right? I like to have a nice small one for in between rows and in the houses, and then a bigger one for larger areas in the spring. And you can use the same squeeze valve for both. And yeah, they're a little upfront money, but they save so much on propane because you can just have it sit there running as you're doing something else or as you're moving around the farm, and then it's just got a low pilot light, and then when you squeeze it, you're gonna be off to the races and flaming. So you save so much propane. There's less time going and getting them filled up. You're also able to walk around your farm without burning your grass in between, or you know, leaving streaks all over the place. And it's just a lot safer. You're not lighting things on fire until you get to where you want to flame. When you're moving from one spot to the next, it makes life so much easier. So I always recommend getting one. Not absolutely necessary, but if you don't have one of these, then you definitely want some sort of shut off so that you can at least adjust the amount of propane. That's kind of at a minimum. All right. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and hope you have a weed-free farm and garden. Talk to you later.